Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Max.
And this is Movies Actually, where we give you an honest review of the movies we've meddled with so mischievously over at Maybe Movies. And this time, we are talking about Evil Dead 2. One of my faves.
Absolutely, yes.
This is a 1987 Sam Raimi directed production, starring Bruce Campbell. And for those who care about these small details, Ted Raimi in one of his inaugural roles as Aunt Henrietta.
Oh my god, if you've seen the making of... Oh, we'll come on to that a bit in a minute.
Talk about long-suffering sidekicks.
Yes. Yeah. So if you've seen any of the behind-the-scenes footage of it, he does kind of... It is like, yeah, get over it. Come on, you're good for it. What's next?
Absolutely.
He literally tortured his younger brother.
It's why I like the fact that he actually gave him a couple of little nice ones when he was doing the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
They weren't stupidly CGI'd or makeup heavy or ask him to be in a gallon of blood or anything like that.
No, absolutely, no. Or not Bad Boy Ted Raimi from the opening of Friday the 13th.
What's the new one?
Oh, no. Sorry, I do apologise. No, it's the opening to Candyman, isn't it?
Oh, gosh, I haven't seen that in so long. I can't remember.
Yeah, when they're actually telling them the urban legend, or what I heard, a friend of a friend heard this happened to them.
Uh-huh.
And when they sort of play that, the flashback bit, the boyfriend who turns up is Ted Raimi.
I never noticed.
Yeah, I think he turns up. I don't know if he's on a motorbike, but the suggestion is he turns up, he's supposed to be a biker. I know he's definitely wearing a biker's jacket. Anyway, sorry, yes. So this is the sequel/remake of the 1981 Sam Raimi original Evil Dead.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I've been trying desperately to remember when I first saw this. I didn't properly start getting into horror movies until at the end of the 80s.
Oh.
I think this was one that was mentioned to me by my friend Rob when I was at college. So that means I would have heard about it around 1990. But when I saw it, it wouldn't have been long after that, but I couldn't tell you exactly when. I'm trying to remember if I saw it here when I was still living in England, or when I moved to France.
Oh, so you were a little bit late to the game. I thought you were like a horror fan the whole way through.
Yeah, yes, but I think my fascination with horror at that point was still very much to do with horror literature.
Oh, I see. I was from the very beginning. It was every platform I could get it on. I myself didn't get to see it until it was released on video in the 80s. So it would have been late 87, early 88 that I saw it. But I already had a reputation with the series. I had seen the original film before it got banned for the Video Nasties thing. And was in fact perhaps the only movie I've ever actually had to turn off because it disturbed me.
Really?
Well, to be fair, I was 10 or 11 at the time. I was alone in the house babysitting my brother, and I got to the bit when she chews her own hand off, and I went, nope. I'm waiting for my parents to come
No,
home.
you must have been older than that. Sorry, you must have been at least... You must have been at least 16.
No, it's the first film. The first film.
Sorry, my brain just went. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I'm talking about my history with the series. Yeah.
Sorry, man.
So I was a little bit trepidatious when I went into it, but I had to see it. And so I didn't see it immediately when it came out. It was maybe a month later. But at this point in our little career with my parents and our agreement about what could and couldn't be watched, we had a thing where they would hire a movie at the weekend. They would hire a movie for all of us at the weekend. And then I was allowed to pick a movie for the weekend as well. And that was one of my picks. I have to say this is my favourite of the series.
Absolutely. Yeah, hands down. The original is a wonderful piece of work. And as an achievement, it did really well. I mean, I think that was...
It's master course on how to make a budget movie.
It was made for about $375,000 and grossed something like $4.2 million.
Exactly. It more than made its money back.
It did better than this.
And secured itself a spot in the horror canon for all time.
Yeah. I mean, this didn't do great at the box office. This only took about $6 million.
Oh, right.
On a budget of $3.5 million.
Really?
But it was that was domestic, I think. No, that was worldwide. It didn't do great.
Oh, I am shocked. I'm actually shocked. I mean, it was instantly famous when it came out on video.
Yeah.
It was instantly famous when it came out on video.
Yeah.
You know, it was notorious. And rightly so. I can't believe it was that badly received in the box office.
I know. I'm sure. I might be mistaking my numbers. If I am, I'm sure somebody somewhere will correct us. But I think it only took. I think it might only took about 6 million domestic in the US, but it was overseas sales that brought it up to somewhere between 6.7 and no, I think that was the original. I think worldwide it was something like 20 odd million or more than that.
Oh, that's a bit more reasonable.
Yeah. But yeah, domestically it didn't do particularly well. Which is a shame, because as I said, it's fantastic. It is all of those lovely, wonderful horror elements from the original with an extra slice of Sam Raimi's love of Three Stooges comedy thrown in for good measure.
What's the idea of spoiling the game?
I was for onesies.
Well, here's twosies.
Oh, he was for onesies? You get him to...
Here's fivesies. Yellow.
Yeah, this is a slapstick horror. For those of you not familiar with Sam Raimi's work, very slapstick. But especially in this movie, it never crosses the line into absolute absurdity. The slapstick makes sense within the context of the universe Sam has created here. So it's never too excessive. Whereas it might be argued in the third film, it probably crosses that line just a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That amazing desert in medieval England.
This is my boomstick!
Sorry.
Exactly, yeah. This is why it's my favourite. It's a Goldilocks situation for me. The first movie is great and memorable, and I love it, and I have it on my shelf at home. But it's quite brutal in its intent. The third movie veers too hard, just a tiny touch, into its slapstick elements. And although it's not unenjoyable, it's immensely enjoyable. It's just a little bit silly. This is the Goldilocks. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. Yeah, this is perfect Sam Raimi.
As you say, this one, it never breaks canon. Everything, there's a through line for everything. What I really loved about it as well, and again, with repeat watchings, is if you switch off your comedy head when you're watching it, and just look at the horror elements in it, or even some of the more comedic stuff that's in there, and view it, especially from Ash's point of view, this shit is fucking terrifying.
Absolutely. Oh no.
You know, and that's what's so nice about it. It the horror elements in it lack any humanity or any kind of are not really. You can't really put them within. Sometimes with horror films, you find that the horror element is a little bit too intelligent or too recognisably human.
Yes, but the Evil Dead are relentless and remorseless.
Yes,
and merciless. And at all times they are laughing. They are they are the literal giggling demon of your nightmares.
Yeah.
Yes, they're pure. There's no version of this story where the Evil Dead are somehow misunderstood or misaligned or anything like that. They are chaotic evil personified.
It's fantastic. It is absolutely wonderful. The effects work for it as well. Again, as we keep saying on the show, on all of our shows, practical effects for the win, and this is a perfect example. The making of it's got some really interesting stuff on it. There's a really nice puppet that they made for Ed.
Evil Ed, yes.
Yeah, when he goes through with the axe, and there's a really nice puppet. It's like the upper torso, arms and hands, and then his head, but cut through with the axe, but they never used it.
Oh, I remember seeing photos of that in Fangoria back in the day, and there was also a shot of his fully dismembered body twitching on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And they got cut. I don't know whether it was cut from just the English release or if the American release.
I don't think they've actually filmed it.
Oh,
I think they might set it
up.
up.
I mean, the bit with the axe through the head.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've seen photos of that, but I do think I saw designs of the model.
Yes. Yeah, because I know in the making of, there's one of the effects guys has got it, and he's like, ooh, showing it like from obviously behind the scenes stuff that they shot at the time.
Oh, nice.
There's also, again, in there's a clip, it's the only surviving footage of a scene that was cut, of Demon Ash staggering through the forest, grabbing a squirrel and eating it.
I've missed that one. I thought I'd seen all the extra features.
But nice. I mean, I suppose that's the other thing that really adds to this as well, is things like little things like the contacts were completely opaque. So when they're staggering around, again, jerkily, like they don't know where they're going, it's because they literally don't know where they're going.
No, they cannot see. There's completely opaque, completely covering the eyeball lenses meant that they were essentially blind through most of those scenes.
Yeah.
But I think it really adds to that unnatural demonic aspect because they're lurching and they're not moving like a normal person's moving.
Yeah. It's wonderful. I mean, as you can probably tell, we really like it. It was a real pleasure to do it on the show.
Yes.
And again, it was a nice one to do with Cabin in the Woods as its kind of spiritual successor. Or spiritual successor in terms of being a movie that encapsulates the Cabin in the Woods genre.
Indeed. Well, it's The Cabin in the Woods is a movie that tries to explain why horror movies in general exist and why certain tropes repeat over and over and over again. And of course, one of the most ubiquitous is The Cabin in the Woods. And to be honest, the original Evil Dead is one of the progenitors of that genre.
Yeah.
You know, that was...
That and Demon Wind, have you seen Demon Wind?
I'm not sure. I've heard about it many times, and I'm not sure if I have actually seen it once many moons ago.
Again, it's very low budget 80s horror. Worth checking out. Definitely worth checking out. It's got some nice ideas in it. But yeah, as you can probably tell, certainly from me, it is...
Oh yeah.
Definitely 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. I mean, I can't get bored with this movie. Another thing you'll enjoy about it is it's got a very brisk pace.
Yes.
It does not waste time. Some scenes that can kind of lead into a bit of and then, but that's how these stories work. It's the chaos of the evil creating an and then scenario that the characters just have to deal with. But every time you notice there's a bit of a lull in the action or things are getting a bit too relaxed, don't be surprised if shit goes sideways.
As it should.
Anyway, so you have it from us?
Yep, and again, apologies from Shane, who couldn't be here this time as he was with us when we did this, covered the film on Maybe Movies.
A real shame. It would have been nice to have him on the couch beside us.
Absolutely. But he did say that he will meet us in a cabin in the woods.
Of course he would. Of course he would. He's a sucker for that scenario.
Yes, I've got my coffee cup. Have you got yours?
To get one.
Until next time, take care.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Shop smart. Shop S-Mart.